Alright, so this one we'll just add that new fill, and we want to use I believe it's the hair color and not the lighter one. So we'll just grab this guy right here. Actually, we'll probably just, instead of creating a new layer, actually going to delete this one and go down here to the hair color, which is, yep, his top hair. Okay, and that's what I'm looking for. So just making sure that's the color we want, what we're looking at. Got autosave. So this one, I'm actually going to add a paint layer. Whoops. I want to do it at that actual layer. So right click on the actual layer and say add paint. And then I'm going to actually name this darker. And then also add another paint layer. And this one will be lighter. So with the darker, so we'll select that. Actually want to be on the brush. And then also we want to just make sure that we are on the color that we're looking for. I actually don't want this to be, so I'm going to remove these two. So actually I'm going to grab new paint layer. Oops. So I want this to be at the top. And I'll add a new black mask. And then I'm going to just select these. So actually I'm going to go to 2D mode and just affect the top of this hair. Actually with that mask. There we go. Just make sure all that mask is selected. And this one as well. Let's make sure we have all these selected. Alright, so now we can just paint into that mask, which is kind of what we're looking for. So from here, I can actually go to add just color, and then from here, actually I'm going to name this one, since we already have a lighter color here, we're actually going to just copy this layer and paste. So this is going to be the highlight color, so we'll call this hair highlight color and hair hair darker color. And then this one we can change to a darker brown. All right, so from here, go back to 3D mode, 3D only, just so I can kind of get in here. So I'm actually going to hold down Control and just rotate. So rotate is up and down, and just kind of go that way with this texture. More along like that. So from here, I'll probably just tone it down quite a bit, and then just hit underneath these just to kind of get that under dark color here. Because the way the light is going to hit this too is kind of give us some, but I want this to be kind of pretty dark underneath there. And also under here too. And actually rotate this around just so it's kind of going the right way that I want it to. And just rotating, and then also I want the hair kind of growing up from the back, so it grows upwards, just like so. I'm just kind of rotating around here, and then from here I'll probably go, actually I'm just kind of affecting my flow, just taking a look. So holding down Control, and if you drag to the right or left with the left mouse button or with a pen, and then up and down rotates, that's kind of the way I want to go. So just kind of painting towards that direction. So I'm thinking like the direction the hair is growing from, and that's the way that I'm kind of trying to think about going. So stuff that looks, you know, a little light in areas, I just want to, and then through here, just kind of, actually probably, I want this to kind of be light. I'm just kind of going over it, doing an overall. So you just kind of want to make sure that that flow is kind of, not the flow, but the flow meaning the actual like direction the hair is growing. So his hair is kind of going from his right to left side. So just want that hair to be growing that way, like so. So that might be a little much. Yeah, that might be a little much. So with that, just turn the flow down. And just make sure the direction of that hair is kind of going that way. And I kind of want to get in between these areas, a little darker in between these areas. And then some of the other areas where the highlight is hitting, I'll come in with the lighter color. So I'm just kind of looking through here. And underneath here. Just kind of give some texture to this. just trying to look for the areas that are darker than others. I'm just hitting those, hit those areas, or they should be darker. And you just gotta be careful with that flow. Like when you start rotating up and down, you just need to really kind of pay attention to that. So it actually goes the right way. Otherwise it'll start turning a weird way on you. And since this is kind of, we're just basically kind of, it's still kind of stylized, and so it's not perfect, obviously, not, you know, it's kind of what the time that you really want to put into how you want this to look, paint style, like what kind of, what's your style that you're looking for. And this is just, I still want it to be cartoony, cartoony with a little bit of texture. So that's kind of how I'm thinking about it. Alright, so with this highlight color now, so with this highlight color selected, we'll come in and actually come to a pretty light color now. And from here, actually, I want to probably turn that flow down quite a bit. And then come through here with this just hitting the, and also want the flow to, so I'm trying to think like, oops. Some of those were a little much. And you can also go over here and kind of tone that down too if it looks like it's just too much. So here I'm just kind of bringing that brush up just a little bit and also turning the flow down a little bit more. And then also turning this guy. So I want this color, kind of this front piece kind of, yeah. So it's still kind of one object, but just throwing this little texture into it as kind of like a highlight. I don't know how much you're going to actually see in the game engine and stuff. How far apart, how close up are you going to see like this kind of stuff? It's just kind of, it may be overkill, and it might also look really bad too. But from kind of far back, it doesn't look too bad. Kind of what I was envisioning. You can kind of see the darks and then some highlights that are kind of in there as well. Like looking up super close, it does start to look a little muddy in areas, and that's stuff that you can go back and tweak to your heart's delight too. Like there's really, you can spend a lot of time, especially with hair, just being, it's so, you can really spend as much time as you want getting kind of what you're looking for. Just kind of going through, adding some highlight areas. So just turning this. So we'll kind of leave that there for now. And then so from here, I'm actually going to go over to the body. And from here, I will add some of that darker skin color, the skin tone color that I had. So from here, I'll actually go to, we'll go and add a fill layer and just color again, and then we'll go to the skin tone, and then we're going to go to a darker, kind of a darker red color we have, and also add a black mask. And then from here, we'll just name this darker skin tone. Actually, I'm going to do a kind of the same how I did the other one. So actually going to clear this mask, and then I'm actually going to just go here, select the name, just so I don't have to retype this, and delete this, and go to a new, so add a new paint layer, and rename this. Paste, so darker skin tone, and then I'm actually going to add a black mask, and then I want the mask to be the skin tone, so I want to copy this mask, copy mask, come over here and paste into mask. So this gives me all the skin tones that are in this map. Okay, so from here, when we go to our paint color, we can actually select that darker reddish color that we're kind of, so actually if we go here, select that skin tone, come to the darker, and then I believe we were using the dirt spots, moss. And then so from here, actually I might, for this one, since it's not so poor looking, like dots, I might use like a grunge or a dirt. Well, maybe not a dirt. Let's take a look through here. Let's see. I want it soft, but not. Let's try dirt 1 or dirt 2. Yeah, dirt 2 looked like it might work. So from here, I'm actually going to tone this down, turn the flow down quite a bit. So opacity obviously is super hot. I want to turn that down. And then here, just kind of hitting, just kind of splotchy, which is fine. I'm just going to scale this. Actually, I'm going to scale this up like quite a bit, and then rotate around here. Actually, not sure I like that brush. I'm just going to delete this, erase this all out. So I don't like that very much. So just kind of gives it that splotchiness, and I don't want it to look splotchy. So let's actually go down this fur soft wide. That might be a little too furry looking. Let's go with this wash. So scroll out and just kind of hit this, also turn the stroke opacity down. And I'm kind of trying to look at this from a little farther out. And so this one actually is not bugging me too much. I can see that I'm just kind of painting this a little bit darker under his arms. Just and also kind of into his elbows a little bit. Also into this elbow. Not too bad. And then also kind of into his wrist. I'm going to turn on this symmetry mode so I can hit this with both. And from here, I'm going to look at underneath his fingers and just kind of lightly go under his hand, just to kind of color the underneath of his hand, just so it gets that reddish color under there. Like our palms are usually, the blood goes down to the palm. It kind of sits at our fingers and whatnot, so to just make that a little bit more redder. Usually, this is just really lightly going over this, not too much. Start to see the seam just a touch, not too bad. And then here I'm just kind of getting underneath this pant leg as well, just adding some extra tone to that. So I'm just going to hit F, take a look. So actually turn off symmetry, just kind of rotate around, take a little look. It's not too bad. So I like to kind of look at it from afar just to see. And then also if you shift right click, it moves the light around. And then we can kind of look around, see how the back's looking as well. Just rotate that light to the front again, hit F, and let's take a look.